This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised as some cases contain graphic content. We mean no disrespect to anyone we discuss in this podcast except our exes. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. However, we will be expressing our personal opinions. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Hey everyone, it's Cynthia.
And I'm Wes, and this is Love and Luminol, a true crime podcast.
Yay, and we're back.
We back.
Been MIA for a little while. Busy.
She had me locked in a basement.
Mm-hmm.
Whipping me.
Yeah, and then CPS came. I had to let him out. But today we're going to discuss, and we discussed this case before, but...
Did you just call me a child?
Yes. But the audio was messed up, so it's been a while, so we're going to do a refresher.
Yeah. We didn't put this episode out
No.
because the audio was all weird. It was all glitchy sounding and weird, so...
Kind of robotic. So we're going to cover it again, but it's actually the case that got me started in my interest in true crime. This is Jeleayah Davis.
Mm-hmm.
So
But since we've done this already, I know what's happening this time.
Yeah. So,
Actually, I probably don't even remember. It's been a while.
true. Let's say it's been a little while.
It has. All right.
So let's refresh your memory.
Here we go.
So, Jeleayah Davis.
That's what you said.
Yep, 20 years old.
Really?
And that's a picture of her right there.
Okay.
And it's in Marietta, Ohio. So kind of local. It's in our Quad State area.
The Quad State area. Represent.
And she was born November 2nd, 1991.
Okay. So
younger
she's,
than me.
yeah.
Okay. And she died November 18th, 2011.
What month was her birthday?
November.
She died in her birthday, man? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
She died 16 days after her birthday.
That's messed up.
That is horrible. Her mother's name is Kim Davis. That's a picture of her mom and little baby Jeleayah.
Uh-huh.
But her sister, she has one sister. Her sister's name is Tabby Davis, and it's Tabby for short because her actual name
Tabitha?
is... No, Tabiana.
Ah. It's close.
It's pretty, but... Yep.
Tatiana.
And that's her sister right here on the right. They look alike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it was her older sister. But they do. You can tell they're sisters.
Yeah. Same smile.
Mm-hmm.
And eyes.
Yeah, definitely. And then her grandparents, which is her mom's parents, Kim's parents, is named Roger and Cynthia. Yeah.
Well.
Ooh. Shout out. No.
So what you're saying is I need to leave and you need to find a Roger.
No.
Any Rogers out there?
No. He's like, what? No, but I'm rooting for Pink. That's my
Pink.
hall pass, Pink.
Oh, yeah?
But
She can join. It's okay.
Oh God. Jeleayah worked at Hollister store.
Okay.
Is that the place with the guys
That's-
in the underwear?
That's the place that smells like men's cologne.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Abercrombie and
It's
Fitch, but
dark.
it's another one.
And it's got like this dude in underwear on the window, and
Probably. I just remember going by there and smelling men's cologne coming out of it all the time.
I think it used to be in the mall.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Like,
Yep.
walk by it in the mall and you smell like overpowering
It's
cologne.
like Victoria's Secret for men.
Kind of. They have women. I think didn't they have women's clothes too? Or was
Do
it just
they?
men?
No, they have women's clothes too.
Yeah, but the place smells
It's
like
a man.
cologne.
Yeah,
I think they spray it all over the place.
they might. I don't know.
They pump it through
good.
the air ducts or something.
Pump it through the air ducts.
They got a mixture going through a fog machine, just
Do
releasing
they
the
have
scent.
cologne testing in there? It's probably people just spraying different.
No,
colognes.
from my understanding, they literally spray the whole place with cologne, like hourly, to keep the smell in there.
Oh, Lord. Too much work. But Jeleayah went out with her friends that Friday night,
Okay.
the 18th. Could be the 17th. I'm not sure what time she died. But she went out with her friends, I assume, the night of the 17th, which led to early morning 18th.
Okay.
And her friends were Kristen Bechtold, Jordan Campbell, Freddie Scott, and Katie Nelson. A group of them.
The crew.
Yeah. A couple of the friends they hung out with, Jeleayah did not know. So she had a friend, and then that friend brought friends.
Oh, okay. So this wasn't like their normal crew.
No,
this
it
is
wasn't
like
a normal hangout.
a couple of friends, and then they had other people they brought along,
and they
etc.
had other friends, and so she didn't know a couple of those people.
Okay.
But they stopped at some guy's house for a party before they head to the bar.
Alrighty.
She called Tobby, that's her sister, around 3:23 a.m., so that must have been the 18th.
Okay.
And asking her to come pick her up at the gas station. She's like, come get me.
All right.
No, Tobby claims she heard Jeleayah yell at Kristen, that's one of her friends,
Mm-hmm.
during the phone call saying, quote, give me my keys.
Oh.
So it seems like it's a drunk, I ain't letting you drive drunk kind of thing.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah. 5 minutes later, Jeleayah called back to change the pickup location to a rest stop off Interstate 77.
Okay.
So she's they must have been
Some of this
giving her a
sounds
lift.
familiar, and then some of it, I'm like, I don't remember what's going on here. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's almost new to me.
Yeah, so they're
So-
giving her a lift, I assume,
Mhm.
closer to home. But Tobby claimed that during this call, Jeleayah sounded hysterical, crying, cussing, and calling her friend Kristen names.
Damn.
So possibly intoxicated.
Yeah, what I up to? You don't know me. Yeah.
Yeah, because, you take keys, good intentions from someone that's wasted, and they get mad.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're
Give me
taking their
my
rights.
keys. I can drive just fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But Tobby asked what was going on, and Jeleayah replied, quote, I'll tell you when you get there.
All right.
It's a long
Vague
story.
as hell.
Yeah. At 3:41 a.m. on Saturday morning, the 18th, a 911 call was placed by a motorist who reported that he saw a car broken down near mile marker 181.6 in the northbound lanes of Interstate 77.
Was this Cato?
Right.
181.6?
That little mile marker there says 181.6.
For anybody who doesn't recognize the Cato reference, when we did the OJ episode, Cato said that he saw OJ at exactly, what was it? It was like 3:42 and 37 seconds or something. It was like
8:19 p.m. and he had
Yeah.
3 knocks on the south.
it was just very specific, and you're like, how did he know that time? So that's where that comes from.
He
But
knew
yeah,
shit was going down.
this must be Cato. He's like mile
Yeah.
marker 181 point whatever. My God.
But it was near Parkersburg, West Virginia. Damn,
Okay.
Where is that from, Ohio? I thought it was on the other side.
Yeah.
No, is it?
Yeah, it's on the other side of Ohio, West Virginia, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting Illinois and Ohio
Yeah.
switched. I thought Ohio was over here. I'm like, they're going through Indiana all the way to
No,
West
so you have
Virginia?
Ohio and you have Illinois, Indiana over here, and I think West Virginia is on the other
Yeah.
border of it.
I swear I passed geometry or whatever.
Geometry?
Geography.
You see what I deal with? You see?
Uh-huh.
Geometry.
I'd passed both. And statistics. College anatomy. But the 911 caller stated on the phone, and this is his quote, "Sir, this is a crime scene. I'm just about positive. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this is unreal."
What the hell?
So he went from a broken down car to this is a crime scene, and there's a picture of the crime scene.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. He was walking
Blood on the highway.
southbound 0.2 of a mile to what he thought was a human being laying dead on the highway. So he saw this broken down car, and a little ways from the car there was something in the road.
Okay.
Looked like a dead human being, so he went to check it out. And it appeared that a semi-truck ran it over.
Oh.
Yeah. So as you can see in the picture, they got her covered up, which is a very small mound.
Yeah, that's not a whole body.
No, and then there's blood everywhere. There's there's blood over there, blood there, blood.
Yeah.
Blood
This is a mess.
Oh gosh. But he was hoping it was a deer, but it ended up being Jeleayah's body without her head.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, without her head. And of course, Tobby and her friend was heading to pick Jeleayah up when they came across this scene. Yeah.
My God.
There were cops everywhere. Who would have thought?
I mean, you got a headless body, yeah.
And Tobby asked them what happened. They said a girl's body was found in the road, and she knew right away it was Jeleayah. She's like, I just had that feeling it was her.
Okay.
So she ended up calling her mom to say Jeleayah's dead.
Before she got...
I would hope she got confirmation before. So don't you ever do that to your mother.
Yeah. That would be horrible. To be
That
like,
would.
she's dead. And
You're on your
then
knees
it's not.
crying.
It's just some random
He's
other
like,
person.
"God, this is a homeless man. It's okay, Mama. I'm going to kill you now. It's like, no. But Jeleayah was naked from the waist up. It's topless. And her head was gone.
The hell?
Yeah. Her right breast was missing, and one of her legs were broken in half.
Damn.
So it had, yeah. To
Was
be
she
hit by a semi,
drug?
that's some damage.
I mean, I could see, dragging a body across could probably rip, flesh and different spots off, and maybe tear a top off. I don't know.
You'll get weirder. But her mother was in denial when she came. So her mother bailed in the car and went straight to the scene, thinking it's not her. Like, it is not her. And she couldn't believe that this little white covered up mound was her daughter. Cause that doesn't look
It's
like
tiny.
A whole,
It looks like
and at this
a
point,
small animal.
yeah, her mom did not know she didn't have a head.
Even without the head, that does not look like a...
Well, also her leg was broken in half. So I assume her leg's folded up somewhere.
Still.
It's still little.
I don't know. That looks like a dog. Like a small dog. Or
It
not
was.
a small dog, but a normal sized dog.
Yeah, and that's a little picture further away. It's kind of blurry, but you can see.
Yeah.
Compared to the officer kneeling down there, it ain't much.
No, I mean, it like covers the span of his knee, from
His
knee to
waist,
knee.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, his waist. It's like as wide as he is. It's just...
It's not very much, but...
That looks... I mean, like, here's my waist. And I'm over-exaggerating my waist just to prove a point. That.
What it looks like, yeah.
That is not the size of a human body right there.
No, exactly. It was too small to be a person. However, she didn't realize she's missing some parts.
I mean, still.
Her body was torn to pieces and mangled, but her car was still drivable.
So she just got out, walked, and got hit by a semi?
So they were thinking, but... Her car was down the street from the body, crashed into the guardrail.
So she got out and left it in drive?
No. Her car just had some damage to the front end bumper and a scrape down the side where it rode the railing. And there's a picture, as you can see, to be a headless lady, that's not much damage.
No, it looks like she fell asleep at the wheel and
Hit the
went off
guardrail.
the road a little bit, and it hit the rail and then eventually came to a stop when it... Yeah.
Yeah, I'm missing part of her hubcap.
Yeah, it isn't... It's...
But that, looking at that, I would not think that the person driving that would have been decapitated in any way, shape, or form.
Well, no, there's no blood anywhere.
No.
I don't see any blood.
But the car was still running. The doors were locked. It was in drive, and the keys were in the ignition, and the headlights were on. Yeah. See?
Okay, so it's in drive. I get that. Like I said, I think somebody getting out and leaving it in drive and it rolling and it hits the guardrail and eventually stops and it's still running. That all makes kind of sense.
But locked
But how is the door locked? How are all the doors locked?
with the keys in it.
With the keys in it? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she locked it by accident.
She could be. I mean, she seemed to be a little intoxicated earlier.
I mean, people lock their keys in the car.
Habit, yeah.
And if she's drunk, she
Maybe
left
she
it
did,
in
and then
gear.
she went walking up the street to get someone pull over and help her or something.
Yeah, and then got hit. I don't know. That's weird.
It gets weirder. Her jacket hood. So she had a jacket on. Her jacket hood was detached and covered in blood, I assume, because her head
The
was
head
detached.
being missing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And the sheriff's department launched an investigation, calling the death suspicious.
Well, yeah.
Her favorite keychain was missing from her keys, and her sister bought it for her for her birthday, and she never took it off her keys. It was her good luck keychain.
Okay.
So it was missing. Now this is where it gets even weirder. Her clothes were neatly hanging on the guard railings away from her body. And then there's a picture of it. It's kind of stacked. And the coat's on top, like the underneath of it's a shirt and everything. The jacket's on the top. Yeah.
Okay, so if you take your clothes off, all right, I'm going to go with this. Okay, I'm wearing a jacket and a shirt. Okay? You take the jacket off first.
Yeah.
You hang it up.
Yep, shirt.
Take
bra.
the shirt off, and if you're hanging it in stacked, it would go on top of the coat.
Yeah.
How is the shirt underneath?
It was
the
bra,
coat?
shirt, and then coat on top. It's in the reverse order.
It's in the reverse, unless you threw them all down and then hung them up neatly. Like, all right, I take everything off, put the bra up, the shirt up,
But why?
the jacket.
On the highway, would you strip?
I don't know, but that's the only way that could happen. It doesn't.
And her shoes were gone.
Her shoes are gone.
Yeah, she's missing her shoes. Clothes.
They
were
weren't in the
hanging.
car.
No. Shoes are gone. Yeah, see?
Hmm.
And only 12 minutes passed from when she called her sister to meet her at the gas station and the motorist calling 911. So from Jeleayah talking to her sister to the 911 call was just 12 minutes.
So when everything happened when she hung up that call.
Yeah. 12
Everything.
minutes.
Hmm.
Yeah, not much time for all that.
It's enough to crash the car, get hit by a semi, supposedly, decapitated,
But
and your clothes be hung up nice and neatly.
if you remember, she said, "Give me my keys."
Yeah.
Someone else took her keys, so how did she get her keys back and let her drive off like that?
Whoever took the keys has the keychain.
Yeah. But Toby tried calling Kristen at the scene, but her calls kept getting disconnected. I can't hear you. I'm going through a tunnel. That kind of thing.
Right.
But she called Kristen multiple times. She finally answered, and she yells at her, but Kristen denies knowing anything. She's like, I don't know what happened to her. I'm doing my own thing. So the cops came, took pictures, did the scene stuff, and leaves. Then her grandpa, Roger, comes to the crime scene to look more closely because he's an avid hunter. So he's like, I'm going to track
He's
around.
into tracking
see.
and stuff.
Yeah, and he knew how to track, so he's going to look around. He took a ton of photos the cops didn't take. And he even saw a girl's footprint. He took a picture of that.
Like,
Don't know if it's barefoot or
That's
the
what I
shoe.
was- that's what I was thinking,
just
like-
thinking. But it says girl's footprint, so
no,
it did say shoe
he would have said shoe print.
yeah.
So it's probably a barefoot.
Yeah, it might have been her, but the police came to question Kristen. That was a tongue twister.
Question Christian. Question Kristen. Question Kristen. Question Kristen. There you go.
Yeah, question Kristen.
Question Kristen.
But her father would not let her talk to the police until her lawyer came. And he's like, nope, not that lawyer. Which, I mean,
I get it.
yeah.
It makes you look bad,
It makes you
but
look bad, but as a parent, you're like,
it's protection.
yeah. You're a teenager. You were out, or not a teen now.
Not
I assume
teen.
if they're out partying, but
Yeah.
well, she was 20, so she not old enough to drink.
Well,
So now they got into that. So I see why the parents are like,
yeah, because we all know 20-year-olds do not drink. It just doesn't happen.
I assume the parent was like, get a lawyer because he's like, this could go to where you were out partying, you're underage.
We all know 20-year-olds are drinking.
So he's like, lawyer. And Kristen was the only friend to get a lawyer so quickly. But again, parents.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a huge red flag. It's not like she pulled her phone out. It's like, let me call.
No. But the red flag to me is she was the one the girl on the phone was yelling at to give her her keys back. So
Yeah.
that's the flag there.
Yeah. There's another flag. Later the same day, Kristen obtained a lawyer who returned Jeleayah's keychain from his client to the police.
So she did have the keys.
She had the keychain.
I said whoever had the keychain is the one with the keys.
Yep.
And she was the one who was yelled at to give the keys back. So she had the keys. If the keys are in the car, that means she was there when it happened.
And 3 days later, she gives a statement. She said her and Jeleayah started the night with making cookies at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Kristen said after the bar.
This got really wholesome all of a sudden. We were just making cookies.
And now they got in a bar. How'd they get in a bar? Fake IDs, I guess.
Cookies.
Cookies. He wants some cookies.
They bribed the bouncer with cookies.
They took Jeleayah to her car after the bar and made her promise not to drive herself since she was extremely drunk.
Wait. They took her to her car and then said, now don't drive.
That's what I was like, so they took her to her car and said, don't you drive this. Okay.
Was she in the driver's seat? I mean,
I don't know. Why would they take her to her car? I'd be like,
unless you were driving her. Like, you get in the passenger seat, I'll drive.
yeah, but then why would you say, don't you drive?
Don't you drive now.
I'd be like, I'm driving because you're drunk. Get in the passenger seat.
Give me my keys.
I don't know why. I guess it's just like a throw out. She was concerned. She's like, I told her not to drive.
Maybe she's saying that they told her not to drive while they were in the bar, so they walked her out to it. Maybe it's kind of
flipped.
The story is just not in the right order there.
But Jeleayah had drunk a whole bottle of vodka before she even went to the bar. So drunk is
way to
putting it
go.
lightly. Yeah. Woo. But at 115 pounds, people claim that Jeleayah would have been passed out on her ass.
Depends on if she'd done it 100 times
I was gonna
before.
say, if she's an avid drinker.
And a whole bottle of vodka. Notice it doesn't say vodka and orange juice or vodka and any Sprite, or it just says vodka.
Well, my sister drinks that 100 proof Smirnoff straight from the bottle, and she's fine.
She also does that often. It's not like this was the first time. So
yeah, but she also wasn't 20.
She probably was doing it at 20 too, so we don't know.
know.
But I'm just saying, anybody who can drink a whole bottle of vodka straight
And walk.
has done that before.
Yeah.
It's not new. They built up that.
That liver's
They go from a quarter of a bottle at one time to half at one time to the full thing. That's a process. They've done that over time.
But there was a fight between friends that began over some dude at the bar. Drunk women, you know.
Yeah, it happens.
Kristen said her, Jeleayah, Freddie, Katie, and Christopher, which was Katie's ex, all went to the bar. So I don't know why Katie's ex decided to tag along. That's probably why the fight started.
Why are you bringing your ex to the bar?
Right.
That don't make sense.
But here's a picture of Kristen. Oh, no. There's Kristen and Freddie. And he's holding a bottle of something.
Uh-huh.
She looks like trouble, too, though.
She does.
She looks like trouble. But Kristen said she saw Jeleayah dancing up on Christopher and said she must have been drunk. Well, no shit. It's a bottle of vodka. It's like, she must be drunk. She's dancing.
Hello, Captain Obvious.
She's on a roll. Her lawyer's probably like, retainer.
It's a good thing I already paid me.
And after a 16-month investigation, the police concluded that Jeleayah had been driving and was ejected from the passenger side window after striking the guardrail and then was ran over by her own car. Right? You're like, where did they pull that out of her?
I think I just had a stroke.
Yeah.
What?
So she hit the guardrail, went out the passenger side window, which would have meant she was over the guardrail, but then yet got ran over by her car. I don't understand. Got decapitated in the process.
We're done. I'm leaving. That makes no damn sense.
We ain't moving to Marietta, that's for sure.
Oh, these are some...
That's when you know after 16 months you're like, fuck it, that's just, this is what happened. I can't figure it out.
These are some cops that, I don't know. I wouldn't trust these cops to write a ticket.
Right. But, and it depends on where her car is located. The car's in front of her. And what are they saying? I can't read my notes. Saying that the car's in front of her, and they're saying that the tractor trailer hit her and drug her somewhere backwards. But wouldn't she be in front of her car? I guess if she was hit. I don't know. They're saying she got ran over, but then I figured she would have.
If she got ran over by her own car, she would be behind her car.
Yeah. Well, I figured if she went out the passenger window, she would have went over. It takes force to go through a window. I figured enough force to go over the railing.
Here's the guardrail. Here's the car. Go.
She'd be over the guard railing.
Yeah, how would she be
How would she
back
get hit? Yeah.
underneath? I don't.
How would she go in the front? Especially if the car's moving, usually the air is blowing you back. How does she go over the front? I'm like, what?
And I'm
something
looking
out
at the
window?
damage of that car earlier.
It's not.
It doesn't. It wouldn't have hit hard enough to fling you
Eject
out
her
of the
from the
driver's
driver's,
side
yeah.
all the way out the passenger window.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe it was enough to get her out of the window, and then she fell. Like it
In the
wasn't
middle
enough
of
to
the
eject
car?
her all the way out, so she fell and was hanging
The
out
back part of the car hit her.
and went underneath the back wheel.
Possible. Still.
But I still don't.
Explain why the
I
doors
still-
were locked.
It would, but I still don't understand how that would decapitate you
damage.
and rip your. I mean, I could see some broken bones and being dead,
Yeah.
but decapitated and all
And
that.
her clothes.
Unless when she went out, her head hit the guardrail and it knocked her head off.
But then why is her clothes? Why is she talking?
The clothes
Her
is
on the railing.
completely a whole other topic.
Where's her shoes? Where's her feet print? I found a footprint.
Don't know. See, all that stuff does not make sense. I'm just trying to make sense of
Aliens.
how she got out of the car and could have went over
But
herself.
once you figure that out, you're like.
But once
well,
you
then
got
the
that,
clothes
then
and
you're getting to your stuff of, well, how did her clothes get over there and piled nice and neatly?
their footprint.
Unless her clothes were on the road and somebody picked them up and put them up there.
And didn't call 911. There's a dead body in the road.
I don't know. Don't
Like
know.
I'm minding my own business, but this coat looked cool. I ain't getting no stains out.
Maybe somebody walked up and upon the clothes first and was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna take these," and then realized they were covered in blood and was like, or was like picking them up and looking at them and like putting them up on the thing, and then noticed the blood and was like, "Shit," and then they took off.
Why?
And maybe it's the same person
I would have either called
that
911.
called
I
911.
was going to say I would call 911 and be like, I found a body. Here.
Maybe-
I touched this clothes. It wasn't me. Or I would have just took the clothes and burned it and been like, I ain't seen shit. Because you touched it. You got your DNA on it. You might as well call 911 and be like, I found these clothes and then I noticed her over there.
I don't know. Did they check DNA on the items? See if anybody
I don't
touched
know.
them?
We'll find out.
There
But
you
it's
go.
just, I'm like, I don't know. Unless people in Ohio just don't want to get in other people's shit. They're like, I ain't going. It's 3 a.m. I ain't getting interrogated for 4 hours. I'm going home. It's like, no. But the Wood County Sheriff's Office considers the case closed, shut, done, in the filing cabinet.
Okay.
Her alcohol limit was 0.19 when she died. That's twice the legal limit.
Okay.
Well, yeah. You're going to get some more issues with this if the information was correct, but there were items in the passenger seats which police believe indicated that there's no one else in the car. But
Okay.
if there's stuff in the seat, if there's enough force to put her through the window, that shit would have been the floor.
Yes.
Yes. Like, okay.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be any other cars involved, no other paint transfer, nothing like that.
Okay.
Kim, her mom, requested all the reports for her daughter's death. She's like, give me everything. And of course, they're like, all right. And they even sent her pictures of the body. Yeah. They're just on this.
Oh, these guys.
They're like, okay.
They're good at their job.
I know you're a grieving mother, but here's her autopsy photos. I'm like, well. There was a makeup bag in the back seat that was still in the seat. If she would have crashed again, that stuff would have been in the floor. But her seats had all their stuff in there. There's also a spider web crack on the windshield inside the passenger side, which they thought could be from someone's head. And here's a picture of that crack. So not on the driver's side, but the passenger. Which makes me, I don't know, if she hit the windshield, that would have slowed her down from going out the window.
So, back to the guardrail in the car. She's driving.
You need
the
Legos.
guardrail comes, hits here. She's not flying directly through the window. She's hitting the windshield first and then going sideways.
How?
Yeah, that just blew that one out of the water. There's no way to go
Unless-
completely straight out the window if you're hitting the windshield first. It would bounce you back into the car.
I still don't make sense. So I was saying unless you hit the windshield, then you, like she flew out, and then she bends and her lower back or her butt hits the other window, breaks through that, and then she flings back and her head hits the guardrail. Like she comes, hits the windshield, folds up, goes out the window, and then when she flips her head back, it knocks her head off the guardrail.
Wouldn't there be blood in the car or on the side of the car?
You would think. I don't know. But there's no blood found inside the car.
Or on the side of the car, correct?
You'll see. Now we're going to get to where's the head. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Her head
We don't know where the head is.
We're talking about no head, and we never thought to where was it.
Yeah.
Well, it was down in the ditch on the other side of the post where her clothes were hanging.
Okay. How far away from the body is this?
So it's like, here's the car. Here's the body. Here's her clothes, and there's her head down there. So it's like car, body, and her clothes and her head are in between the two.
Okay, now that doesn't add up at all.
I don't know.
Well,
Well.
not the clothes. The clothes are still a mystery. But let's ignore that she hit the windshield first. She goes out the window, falls. As she's falling, her head hits one of the guardrail, because they have those little posts that hold the top piece up. So, and they're sharp on the edge. So let's say they hit like this. Her head goes flying off into the ditch. Body then gets pulled underneath the car, rolls back.
Yeah. But footprint. And
Then, no, because that still doesn't make sense, because it would be car, body, head.
Yeah. Because the car would have been.
There's no way the head can be between the car and the body.
Yeah.
There's no way. And on top of that, we're still getting to if the head came off while she was falling out like that, there would be blood splatter.
Yeah. But,
So I don't know.
You're like,
I'm lost.
But there was 7 to 8 guardrail posts between the one that killed her, so the one they saw all the blood and stuff on.
So there was blood on one of the guardrails.
On the guardrails.
Okay.
So the one with blood on it, they assumed killed her. There were 7 or 8 guardrails between her clothes and her head.
Okay.
Don't know how far distance that is. It just says 7.
I mean, they're
guardrails,
usually
a foot
like
apart.
this far
Okay,
apart.
so not like a mile or nothing.
1, 2, 3,
So 7
4,
to 8 of those.
So we'd be on the front porch
Okay, that ain't too bad.
from here.
And then 6 posts down from where her head and clothes were was that guardrail with brain matter on it and stuff, the blood. So, yeah. So
No, there was actual brain matter.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
The friends that Jeleayah was with that night were children of current or former Parkersburg police officers. Case closed.
And that was it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the episode.
You can join us on Snapchat.
My God.
And the damage to the car does not seem to match a 70-mile-per-hour car crash into the guardrails. Because, mind you, that's the high interstate. She's doing 70.
Yeah, that looks like about a 35, 40.
And the police report said that they believe she hit the guardrails at a high rate of speed. She was thrown to the passenger side out the window where her head was hit on the post. And then you know the rest. The car hit the guardrails on the passenger side front light.
So I kind of can explain the windshield now.
What?
It doesn't explain everything else. But if she goes flying out the window, right, is hanging halfway out, head hits the rail, right?
Yeah.
It slingshots her body sideways. Her leg hits the windshield and breaks her leg.
Oh.
And then she falls underneath the wheel. Oh. I can kind of explain all that, and it actually fits, except for the clothes.
Unless you put mine where they're like, okay, fine, drive, we'll follow you. Saw this whole wreck happen. They're like, oh, shit, we told her to drive. Like, we can't be associated with this.
Yeah, there is something amiss.
Yeah, there's
like
something amiss. But if they killed her themselves,
and
I
the
don't
damage to the car does not match the speed needed to do that.
Yeah.
And the stuff in the seats not shifting.
Yeah. It's all
So we're
fishy.
missing some pieces, unless, miracle this shit just stayed in the seat. Things happen, but it doesn't make sense. But my explanation actually works for the damage to her
Yeah.
and the damage to the
car
windshield.
makes sense.
The car doesn't have enough damage to be going that fast. Stuff in the seat didn't move.
I mean, if it does, we're getting
Clothes being hung up.
because that thing, crash testing on that thing
Yeah, what kind of car was that?
looked like a Chevy Malibu. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh no, we're gonna have to look that one up. This thing
However,
can take a beating.
yeah, she didn't have any glass on her or in her hair from the broken window.
Again, I said her leg, so
But her head went out the passenger side window.
yeah,
She'd
was it
have
down?
glass in her hair. No, the window's broken.
Oh,
She
so
broke the
that adds a
window.
whole other aspect
No,
to
it's
this.
not down. It was up, and they say she went through it. She broke the window.
Arms?
I don't know. There's no glass on her. Well, I mean, her clothes were hanging up, so it could have been on her clothes.
Yeah, whoever hung those clothes up could have shook them out, hung them up. I don't know.
knows? But they also believe that the force threw Jeleayah out of her shoes, and being dragged across the rails ripped her clothes off.
I mean, I guess, but who hung them up? And are the shoes in the car?
Not that I've seen, or it's been reported.
So if you're being flung out of your shoes, they would be still there.
I guess the good Lord felt bad and stacked her clothes up. I don't know. I was like,
Well, these don't look right. We gotta make these.
what?
We don't want these getting wrinkles in them.
They believe she flew over the top of the car, so I think she went over the top.
How?
That's what they're thinking. See, I don't know.
Now they're making any possible
And landed on the
explanation
road. Yeah.
make no sense.
I think it's evidence, and they're trying to, but there's no way she could have went down and up at the same time.
The only way that she could have that damage to her is to go down and under. Up and over, you're not going to get that same kind of damage.
No, but the reason they're thinking this is because there was blood, only blood, on the trunk and the back bumper. Yeah.
Somebody hit her.
Back
Somebody else was driving and ran her over while she was
backed
walking
over.
down the road, and then
She got out and
plowed
was like,
into
forget it. And I don't know.
somebody. Whoever had her keys was driving the car and hit her.
There's
That's the
none
only
on
way
the
you go up
roof.
and over the car.
There's none on the roof and none on the side of the car where she supposedly went out the window.
And that crack in the windshield happens from hitting the windshield from the front too. Not from the inside.
but
Outside.
True.
And there wouldn't be any glass on you
No.
that way. And the side window could have busted from the impact of hitting the guardrail.
Yeah, because if it.
If you've ever gotten hit on the side of your car, windows shatter. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go with she wasn't in that car when it happened.
Roger, her grandpa, spends over a year collecting his own evidence, but he believes the car never hit the guardrail.
So where'd the damage come from?
I don't know, but that's what he was saying. He's saying she never hit the guardrail. I guess he's thinking another car rammed her. I don't know.
Not from that side.
No, but I don't know. Nothing was taken from the friends except the initial statement their phones were never checked. You know, police children. So their phone was never checked. I don't know. I would assume they would have looked at them for message reasons, but
Or to
location.
verify the other person. The sister said I was on the phone with her. She was yelling at her to give her my keys back.
Yeah, just to verify that.
Well, let's
call.
go check and see if there's any indication of them talking about what's happened on their messages, or let's make sure they were in the right same spot. Or
Yeah.
God,
Police
this seems very
Yeah.
Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now.
Stage?
No, like
I don't know what you're talking
like you're
about.
horrible at your job.
Sucky.
I don't know.
But the police say her friends all have an alibi. Yeah. There's surveillance
them.
video that puts the friend's car 6 miles away from the accident at McDonald's drive-thru. Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of friends here. It could be multiple vehicles.
And in that surveillance video is a guy and 2 female passengers. You can't see who the women are.
And there was how many women altogether involved in this?
I think there was 3 and 2 guys. And there was a guy and 2 girls in the car, so.
Sounds like you're missing a couple of people.
And their alibi is each other. And he's leaving.
This has tea in it, by the way.
It's the tea.
I'm going to sip the tea.
Now here's more Cato. One of Jeleayah's friends said she heard her call her sister at 3:33 a.m. 3:33, and told her that she will told her she will tell her when she gets there. But that same friend also claimed to be at McDonald's. So how do you hear that phone call and be at McDonald's at the same time?
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're
especially in that
contradicting-
12-minute span.
They're contradicting their own alibis.
Yeah, unless they're like, I heard that
And
call,
nobody's
they're like,
questioning this?
No.
They're
Unless
like,
they're
that makes
saying-
sense, guys. Thanks.
Unless I'm saying I heard her on the phone and I just bailed in the car and went straight to McDonald's.
They were about to they were about to put out the McRib. She had to get there.
She had to. Oh, Lord.
Hi.
But, and then to throw another wrench into it, she said she called her sister at 3:33. She heard that phone call. The McDonald's surveillance camera was timestamped 3:32. He's like, I'm done.
So she was at McDonald's before the phone call
She teleported
and heard it.
and then teleported back
How far was this McDonald's from?
6 miles.
You can't go 6 miles in less than a minute. I'm just throwing that out there.
You're throwing it out there. Her mom, Kim, and other independent investigators believe that evidence indicates Jeleayah had been hit by her own car and that she was fatally struck her head on the guardrail post.
That's what I said.
And there's the guardrail post.
Yeah, she definitely hit that.
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah.
That's
Ew.
definitely,
Tissue.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not discounting that she hit that.
Yeah, that's definitely from.
But she didn't come out of the car and hit that. She was already out of the car. She was probably hit into it, and then as it hit that and it took her head off, the rest of her body went over the car. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From there, they believe.
Wait.
What?
The head was in between the body and the car, right?
Yeah.
That works now.
What?
So if she's standing there and they plow into her, right?
Backwards. Yeah.
She flips up, her head comes off, lands here, car goes here, body flies backwards.
But if you see on the side of the guard post rolling, because if they would have backed over, I figured it would have been on the other side. She would have hit.
I didn't say it backed
this
over.
side.
She
Oh.
went over the front of the car and rolled off the back.
There's no blood anywhere except the trunk and the bumper.
Okay, but if you do it fast enough and she hits the trunk when she lands, that's where the blood hits.
There's not a single drop or nothing on the side or anywhere.
Well, it sprayed out that way when it hit that.
You're like, it's all there.
I'm just saying.
I mean, possible.
It makes sense having the car, the head, then the body in that order. It makes sense having the head between the car and the body then. If she's standing on the side of the road and getting hit.
True. Well, her mother and their investigators, which kind of makes sense too, but they're saying she must have wanted to get out of the car. They weren't letting her out, so she tried to crawl out the window. They were fighting with her. Ended up swerving over, hitting the guardrail, hitting her head on the guardrail because they're fighting with her. She's kicking, trying to crawl out.
Mm-hmm.
End up turning the wheel, hit the guardrail, hit her head on some guardrail posts. Her head came off. And then they believe that they ended up pulling over, then stripping her and hanging her clothes to make it look like something else.
Okay, but
Staged the body so that she could get ran over again.
But how do you explain the trunk, the windshield, and if somebody else ran over her, wouldn't that they have been like, oh shit? And
I don't know. I've seen like semi trucks plow through deer and just keep going.
I guess
What's laying on the road? I mean, I can see if she's kicking and fighting, she might have hit the windshield with her feet.
Like I was saying, her leg hits it and breaks.
The window would have broke if the window wasn't all the way down. If it came halfway down, she's trying to crawl out of it. When she hit the railing, it would have broke the window, I assume.
Maybe.
And then that's
And then they just put shit in the seats to make it look like nobody was in that side.
Yeah. Make it look like she's by herself.
I guess it works.
That's what they believe. And then they put her body, stage her body so that it can get ran over again.
So here's my other problem with this. If that happens, why stage the body? Why not call the cops and say she was trying to climb out the damn window and caused an accident and now she's dead?
Maybe they don't want to go to jail.
They wouldn't. It would have been her fault and they were just trying to stop her from falling out the window.
How do you prove that?
You explain the story and then they look at the evidence and if it all matches, then they're good to go. Like,
I guess. I
would have went with the truth if that's the truth.
Yeah.
The truth seems like they would have been free and clear and it would have been an accidental death caused by somebody being drunk and stupid.
But they're also underage drinking.
I get they would have been in trouble for drinking, but that's regardless.
It's better than murder.
Yeah. I would have just went with the truth if that's it. I don't believe it's the truth, though.
Oh, no. But, February 2012, there was a witness, Ember Stafford, was arrested for making a false report stating that they witnessed the wreck. So there's some lady came out and said, I saw the car wreck. I saw what happened. And apparently it was false report, so they arrested her.
Or she saw what really happened and relatives of these kids were like, false report, arrest her.
Gosh. A witness said she saw Jeleayah fighting with a couple friends outside the bar before getting in her car and leaving. So I assume that's what she's saying. She said, I saw her fighting, climbing her, she drove off on her own.
Okay.
She claimed the friends got into a car and chased her, which is what I said. They were following her. She was sentenced to 6 months in jail.
How'd they prove it was a false statement?
I don't know, but she was arrested November 1st, which was the day before Jeleayah would have turned 21. Yeah.
I want to know how they came to the conclusion it was a false statement.
Well, after 30 hours of investigation, she admitted she was lying and that it was a hoax.
Sounds like she was really given free rein to just speak as opposed to being hounded for hours and hours and hours and hours until she gave the story they wanted.
Yes. Another scenario that came up would have been that her friends were like, you're drunk, you're annoying, I'm out, left her, and she got some guy to drive her where she needed to go. And that guy ended up trying to get a little handsy, and then she tried to crawl out the window. And that could have been when, he's fighting with her, trying to pull her back in, hit the railing, all that stuff happens. So that was another scenario.
I don't know.
It was also mentioned that Kristen or one of her friends offered to take her home. A fight ensued, and Jeleayah tried climbing out of the window. So there's also a lot of climbing out of the windows were mentioned. They stripped her to make it look like a sexual assault thing or a drunken mishap. She's drunk.
Or
people say when
the guy who took her home, who got handsy, got clothes off of her.
Yeah.
As she was trying to get out of it. And then she tried to climb out.
She's like, no.
And she's topless.
But I've also, wasn't it the...
And then
that's hypothermia. When you start feeling really hot, so you strip. I was thinking I was drunk.
That's not hypothermia.
What is it?
Hyper.
Oh, hyperthermia?
I think. Because hypothermia.
I know it's
is
something
cold.
weird. No, because you end up dying. That's why it made me think it's cold. Like people out there stranded in the cold and they start getting hot and strip and then they die from
Oh no, I don't know that
hypothermia.
one.
Pretty sure.
And you could hypothermia is when you freeze, yeah. But I don't know what would cause someone to think they're hot and take their clothes off.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
what
When I'm drinking, I'm like, my cheeks are red and I'm like,
Oh, I mean from the alcohol. Okay.
yeah. That's what I was thinking. Maybe it's just her drunk and hot and she's like,
She's
I'm
just taking her
my-
clothes off.
Yeah, I'm going to leave these right here. I'll be back. And off she goes. I don't know. My mom's done it. No, I'm kidding. You're like, I'm telling. But in 2000, I jumped ahead. Kristen took the keychain as a remembrance, is what they were saying.
From where?
Yeah. But didn't realize it was Jeleayah's favorite and would have noticed if it was gone.
From
so they're
where?
thinking she was at the scene, and she's like, I'm going to take this
If the
to
keys are
remember
still
her.
in the car,
Yeah.
how did she get the keychain for
Yep.
remembrance?
But in 2018, an Emily Nestor, who grew up in the area, started a podcast on the case titled Mile Marker 181. You heard of that?
Point
podcast?
6.
0.6. And that's her, Emily.
Okay.
Like her chest tattoo. Moth or something.
I thought you were saying you like her chest.
Well, chest tattoo. And she was in support of the idea that it was murder.
Okay.
She did her whole podcast over all this contradictory stuff.
Yeah.
However, after her investigation for the podcast, she switched to believing it was accidental. She flipped. Which I'm sure made... Because she worked with Kim directly, and Kim provided her with these reports she got from the police and was feeding her. And for Emily to just switch, I'm sure Kim was, like, pissed. She's like, I
Yeah,
gave you all
something's
this
off.
information. Yeah, I helped you. You were on my side, and then you flip. So I don't know what she found out that made her flip.
Did she say?
She didn't.
Like I could see like in the middle of episode, she comes across evidence and is discussing it and be like, so now this is why I think.
No, she got through the whole podcast series, and then she came out with the season 2 where she flipped. Yeah. And I tried to
Is
go
there
back
new evidence?
and
What-
re-listen to the podcast, and it's all taken down. It's no longer available.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. The case was also shown in a 2019 episode of the ID series Still a Mystery. So it's got some... I'm surprised you ain't heard about it. It's got some coverage. And her mother has a Facebook page, Justice for Jeleayah, where she posts actual, like, pictures of police reports, like, this is what they said. Like, this is what they found. This is what her friend's statement says. Like, she's posting shit. Like, read this. I'm sharing. So there's a lot of interesting stuff on there. But it was also hacked on December 12th of 2022. So
Fucking
someone hacked
people.
it. Recently, too. That's last year. People just won't leave stuff alone. She was
Either
never
that or-
able to get that account back.
Did they find out who hacked it?
Nope. She just had to create a new page under the same name.
So whoever hacked it still has control of it, correct?
Yeah, it's still there.
IP addresses are pretty easy to
You're
figure
gonna
out.
hunt them down.
Just
I'm gonna hunt
saying.
this fucker down.
I'm just saying, like, if somebody really wanted to know, they could figure it out. So it seems like somebody doesn't want to know, or the people who would be in charge of finding out are the ones who did it.
And that's why on the new Facebook page, she made a post that says, quote, "For those involved in my daughter's murder, the accessories after the fact, and the investigators, don't think for a hot second that this will slow me down."
Oh,
She's like,
and then she
"I
disappeared.
don't." No. But poor Roger passed away March 22nd of this year. So he didn't get any closure. It was just 10 to 12 days after Emily's documentary came out regarding that it was an accident. So just 10 days after this lady switched to it's an accident,
He's like,
Roger
I give
dies.
up.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
dies. It's considered closed. The case is closed. However, Kim's still continuing to fight to get it reopened and looked at and investigated a little more thoroughly.
Oh, boy.
And that's the case of Jeleayah Davis. You're welcome. You're like, what's... could write a book on this one. I know. Flabbergasted.
Yeah.
No matter which scenario, it's like there's always some piece that doesn't fit.
Yeah.
It's like it's got to be a combination of like 4 scenarios together.
Yeah. I don't like. Yeah. You if you go one scenario, there's always a piece that doesn't work.
Like maybe her friends were following her. Maybe Christopher, the guy she was dancing and grinding on, offered her the ride. Maybe he did get handsy with her.
Maybe it's a
she
mix
did
of
cry
everything.
Yeah, maybe she tried to crawl out the window. All this stuff happened. Kristen's like, I want to keep her keychain. I want to stage
All of
make
it. Yeah. You put
Maybe
it all
it's one
together,
big scenario,
all the
but-
different stories together as one, and it kind of falls into place.
Yeah, but it's
And then
just-
they put the clothes up, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna
We
be
gotta
real.
stage
Like,
this a little bit, make it look like
if they didn't stage it, they could have just told what happened and been fine.
Yeah. Well,
if
not
that's
the
the
guy that
case.
was sexually assaulting her. If she
I mean,
was.
he got handsy. Guys
Yeah.
get. No, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying,
Yeah, handsy.
I mean, he got handsy. Alcohol.
She's dancing with him.
There may have been some
Read
trouble.
The room wrong. Yeah.
There may be some trouble, but not this kind of trouble.
No.
Not.
No.
And I'm gonna get messages saying I'm discounting sexual assault, like bringing sexual assault down on a level. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, he might have gotten into some trouble, but there wouldn't be a question of, did you murder someone?
Yeah.
Or did this person get murdered? At least the family would know what happened, and it would be, the trouble would not be this.
Yeah, he would have took like.
It wouldn't be this crazy. Like, we would know, and it would be very simple and
Yeah. He
be
just
done.
has to say, yeah, she was drunk. I was
And
drinking,
honestly,
I got
yeah,
handsy.
they're both drunk. He got handsy. She did something stupid and tried to climb out the window, and all of this
that's
stuff
all it took.
happened. And then I don't know, man. It's just
It's hard. Unless because their parental ties, they didn't want to be associated with. They didn't want all this.
so it comes
Press-
back.
I don't
it comes
know.
back to
It's such a complicated
the
case.
cops.
Yeah, it's sad. I figured if their kids were involved, they wouldn't let them investigate. They'd be like, "This is."
That would be a conflict of interest.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't think you can cover this case. Your kids are part of it.
Unless it wasn't specifically them that covered the case. It was
Others.
the people who knew them, like other officers, like, but they were
buddies.
buddies and stuff. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Or who knows? Maybe they did just take off and leave her and like peace, and then didn't know what happened after that. We don't know. Maybe some went to McDonald's and the other ones went to Arby's or something. Who knows? We don't know, but it's definitely.
we know Jeleayah just died, but you want to get a Big Mac?
Maybe they did. Maybe you ever had this drunk friend
Gotta
that's
get
just
there. The McRib's
belligerent,
coming out. I'm telling you.
screaming, yelling, fighting. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna leave your ass here. People do that. Not very nice.
No, I know.
They do
I
that.
know. I know.
Not supposed to. Don't do that. But they do that. And usually this happens. They get
Usually
killed.
this exact scenario
Yeah.
happens.
So don't leave your friends drunk anywhere. They're mouthy. They can be mouthy in the back seat too. It's okay. Just drag them in the car. Be like, get it in there. You're going home.
Anyway,
Yeah. Sad case. Thoughts to her mom. Keep pushing. Get it investigated. Something
yeah.
that makes sense.
And if there's more information that's come out that you know, and
Share with us.
share with us.
Because we're all confused.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like, God, this stuff. So you didn't remember very much of this? 'Cause
No,
you're just as shocked.
the head part kind of popped some of it back, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess maybe it'd been a while, and I just
The special details.
yeah. I kind of figured it was going to a place where she was going to lose her head at some point, because I kind of remembered that, but I didn't know exactly how and what was happening, and so yeah.
Yeah, it was just.
I definitely didn't remember that they were all just hanging out at McDonald's.
Yeah, they were on. 3 of them were on surveillance in the McDonald's. But it's like, I don't know. They were so. I don't know who was so intricate about. I think it was Roger, but they're like 7 to 8 posts between here and 6 posts between here. Like, they're so detailed, and yet you still can't figure it out. It's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah, because no matter which way you go with it, there's pieces of it that don't make sense.
Yeah. It's terribly sad. Well, you really roll credits, sir.
All right. Well, if you want to continue hearing or watching our podcast, feel free to like and subscribe. If you want to find us on service, whether you're watching or listening, you can go to loveandluminol.com. We have all of our video and audio podcast links there. Most of them. There's probably places that aren't listed on there that we are. But for video, it's pretty much YouTube and I think Spotify. Audio everywhere else. We're on social media as well. You can find those social media links also at that loveandluminol.com. We're on everything except for Twitter/X.
It's X.
I call it Twitter/X because some people remember Twitter, some people call it X, some people so Twitter/X. We're everywhere except where Elon Musk is. But everywhere else we're there, especially on TikTok. That's kind of our main area. We do book talk reviews and stuff on there as well. But that's all I got.
Flame of Justice. There you
Hope you liked it, and we'll see you next time.
go. See you guys.
Bye.